Welcome back everybody to another MOTOBOB video. You join me today at Triumph headquarters in Hinckley, and we're here to look at not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 new bikes or new additions of the Bonneville lineup. So in this video, we're going to go over each bike. We'll speak to Miles about the background behind them, but first we'll have a good look at them. So with this Goldline lineup, I mean, we've had the Street Twin Goldline already. Was that a bit of a test for this idea? And if so, I assume it was successful.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit chicken and egg. So at the beginning of the year, we launched the new generation with the Euro 5 engine update. Across the bikes, a bit more performance, more details, more specs. But as part of that, we had one Street Twin with a Goldline scheme, which had the hand-painted detailing. That's been very successful, so that sold out in the season. And looking at this year and what we would do to introduce, a new flavour, a new option, these Goldlines were inspired by that success, but also customer demand, observations from the media about wanting more bright colour options, more colour choice in general, and loving the Goldline and wanting more of that.
So let's have a look at a couple of the bikes then. We've got the T100 and T120 in the same finish essentially, so SLVERICE, competition green, and then some beautiful Goldline in. I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about how that's done and who does it.
This is the thing for Triumph for the last few years. All our coach lining or our finer detail lines are painted by hand. We have artists within our paint shop facilities in our factories in Thailand and also factories in the UK. There are 6 of them. The chap who does the gold lining here is the sort of the lead for it. He's trained the other guys. His name's Gary Devine. You may have seen him from in some of the video that we have with the launch of these, but also we've done some previous things with Gary. He's an absolute star within the Triumph world. His father, grandfather and great-grandfather worked for Triumph going back through Meriden, and he basically is one of the most steely-eyed, steady-handed painters that I've ever seen. They do a lot of this brushwork is done within one stroke. I think it's taken him years and years and years, and all of our painters an awful lot of time to get the quality that all these show. And of course, they're all signed. So if you've got a gold-lined tank, and if this goes back years, so if you had a Triumph over the previous years with it, most of them are signed under the front of the tank. So take your seat up, and you'll see whether you've got Gary Devine's signature or one of the other painters.
I was going to kind of ask about that as well. You said it takes such a long time to develop the skill. Now, I saw the Guy Martin film where he had a go at doing it, and it was, I mean, you couldn't sell it, let's say. It was a little bit wiggly.
He was the best I've ever seen, honestly, in terms of picking it up straight away and getting a possible like me,
Yeah, I mean, I admire his courage, and I doubt I'd do any better myself, but it kind of made me think, well, how do you get to the level of being proficient and that good at it? Is there just a massive heap of Bonneville tanks out the back of the Triumph factory with messed up Goldline in? How do you get to that level, I suppose?
Well, you'd have to ask Gary.
Right.
We'll set you up to have a chat with him, but my assumption from talking to Gary over time is basically thousands and thousands of hours of mastering that quality, that focus, that steadiness.
So on top of these two, we've also got the T120 black, so that gets the sapphire black, but also a panel on the tank of SLVERICE, like these other 2 bikes, and then the Goldline in 2. Moving through the range, we've got the Speedmaster as well, a little bit of a similar vibe here, so quite a classic look. Is that intentional with this group of bikes?
Yeah, across all of the 8 actually, the schemes were chosen to amplify their personality and also give customers another choice within the colour families. With the T120s and the T100, that's a very classic story. If you go back to Meriden bikes from the 60s, you'd see gold lining just like this. With the Speedmaster, for me, this is the most sophisticated of it. In photography, you may look at the knee pad and the tank and think they're quite close in terms of colour, but when you look at them up close, when you see them in the flesh, it's really quite a sort of a minimal, quite a subtle thing, but absolutely beautiful. So, and of course this is our cruiser, so that kind of laid back and a bit more sophisticated vibe I think really suits it.
I can absolutely vouch for Miles there in that when you look at it in the flesh, it's a very metallic finish on the SLVERICE as well on this, isn't it? But that knee panel is more of a kind of brushed finish, and it really does look very classy indeed, especially with the black and gold stripes down the middle of the tank there. We've also got the bobber in this quite striking red finish and on the mud guards as well. What's the story behind this one, I guess?
So this is a Carnival red. Again, thinking about how these paint schemes sort of amplify kind of the attitude of the bike. So at the beginning of the year, we launched with the new generation of this, there was a hopper red option. There is a hopper red option, and that's brighter than this and a little bit more candy than this. But that was very popular, and I think this this Carnival red and black with the gold lining scheme, I wouldn't say traditional, but a bit more of a custom, a bit more of a sort of a 60s, 70s custom kind of paint scheme vibe. But again, under the lights, wonderful, really, really sort of lifts.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's a lively finish, but it does sort of look a bit more retro. Really like this one. Now the Street Scrambler, we've got this Pacific blue. It's a matte kind of finish and then a graphite stripe. Now, when we saw the 2021 Street Scramblers, there's like a crayon grey this year, and I thought that's pretty good. I don't think you can beat it. And the Sandstorm, I also thought that was good, but I think it might be my new favourite Street Scrambler. It looks absolutely brilliant. And then onto the big 1200 Scramblers, we've got the XC and the XE. Now the XC is in Carnival red, Storm grey, a silver stripe, and then the triangular Triumph logo. Really like that one, but I think my absolute favourite, possibly of all of these, is the Baja orange on the XE. It's such a loud paint job, and I didn't expect it at all. When I heard you were releasing more gold lines, I was really thinking of this more heritage end, and this is such a bold and modern finish. Where does that colour choice come from?
Well, that comes from lots and lots of requests for brighter colours, but also to bring back some of the colours that Triumph was known for. Going back to the launch of the Street Triple, with we had some really bright oranges and pinks and greens, and there is a touch of a heritage bloodline to them. But I think really we've got them just because they look stunning when the options were designed. It was like everyone said, "Well, I'd like one of those."
Yeah, I can see why. I suppose that's a trend we're seeing across the industry. It's not just Triumph. Black, white, grey bikes seem to sell particularly well, and when I've asked you in the past about that, you've said that more colourful options don't tend to perform as well as the stealthier finishes. So I guess, is this your offering, your opportunity for those people who do want something bright to, go and buy the thing they're asking for?
Absolutely. People have been asking us for brighter colours. The Street Twin sold very well with the gold lining on. So our dealers and an individual customer saying, "I'd love to see that on my bike." So what we wanted to do is to bring those two together with a range of colours, but also make them as accessible as possible. So they're not limited edition, but they are unique to being a one-year offer only. And I think that combination of 1 year, brighter colours, gold line detailing, I would hope that these are going to go down very well with Triumph fans.
Absolutely, and I think pricing wise as well, it looks like decent value to me, given that they're hand painted with the gold lining, and if you look at an equivalent custom paint job, it's going to run you very close, if not more, than something like this. And I think the 900s, so the Street Scrambler, the T100, that's £600 on top of the base colour, so not the kind of next level up, but the base simple, usually black paint job. And then with the 1200s, it's 800 on top of that. Bikes will be in dealers within the next month or so definitely go and check some out if you're interested. As always, I'd love to know if you've got any questions down in the comments below. And if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.